All right, welcome back, everyone. I really hope you had a chance to unplug over the holidays because the world of AI, well, it did the exact opposite. While most of us were offline, some of the biggest stories of the year were breaking, and we're here to get you caught up and fast.
It's true, the pace is it's relentless. We're talking major new models, a deal that completely reshaped the chip industry, and the AI video revolution just kept picking up steam. I'm A Show, your host, and to help me break all this down, we have our amazing AI analyst, Anna.
Hey everyone. Yeah, it really feels like we blinked and missed an entire quarter's worth of news. It's wild.
It really is. And to give us the business and strategy take on all these huge moves, we have the founder and CEO of AI Show Consulting, Jonathan DeRoy. Jonathan, some big money was flying around.
Absolutely, A Show. The strategic games being played right now are just fascinating. A pleasure to be here.
Perfect. So here's a quick look at what we're going to hit today. We'll start with the holiday news roundup, then dive into the next-gen models that just dropped. After that, the video revolution, that massive $20 billion deal. And we'll wrap it all up with the key trends you really need to be watching.
Okay, so let's jump right in. The theme here is that AI news never ever sleeps. And honestly, nowhere was that more obvious than in the race to release new models. And it really felt like OpenAI didn't take a single day off, did they?
They definitely didn't. It was like they were dropping a new surprise every few days. We got major model upgrades and some pretty revealing leaks too.
Exactly. So first up was GPT 5.2. And look, this isn't just a small general improvement. This is a specialized model highly focused on technical fields like math and coding. But the real headline here is that insane 400,000 token context window. I mean, to put that in perspective for you, that is big enough to feed it an entire complex code base and have it reason across the whole thing. That is a game changer for developers.
And the performance numbers really back it up. If you look at the SweBench Pro benchmark, which is specifically for measuring software engineering skills, GPT 5.2 is right there at the top with 55.6%. That's a pretty solid jump over its predecessor and its main rivals. It's a really clear signal that they are laser-focused on winning over developers. You know, I have to jump in on this, because from a business point of view, those few percentage points are absolutely huge. A 3 to 5% improvement in a model's coding ability, that isn't a small gain. That's a massive productivity multiplier that translates directly into saving development hours and getting products to market faster.
And OpenAI wasn't done yet. Not even close. A major leak revealed their next-generation image model, and the leap in quality is it's staggering. Oh, it's night and day. We went from those distorted, kind of creepy, uncanny valley faces of the old models to what honestly looks like photorealistic celebrity selfies. But you know what really blew my mind? The text. The old model would just spit out gibberish if you ask for text. This new one, it can render clean, legible code right onto an image. That's a massive leap in the model's actual understanding of concepts.
And then there was this number. Jonathan. $1 billion partnership with Disney. What on earth is the strategic play here? This is a landmark deal. It creates a massive competitive advantage. So for Disney, it's about owning the future of how content gets made. But for OpenAI, this is a strategic masterstroke. They get exclusive access to train their models on one of the most valuable IP libraries in the entire world. This is not just data, it's 100 years of culture. What this does is create a moat around their video models that competitors will find almost impossible to cross.
And that Disney deal is all about generative video, which is the perfect segue to our next topic. Because the innovation we saw in video AI over the holidays was just breathtaking.
Absolutely. So Runway dropped Gen 4.5, and its biggest steps forward are in understanding motion and physics. For example, you could give it a prompt like asking for a crystal sphere rolling down marble stairs, bouncing realistically while water is splashing onto it, all with specific camera movement. I mean, that level of complex physical interaction was basically impossible just a few months ago. But the results we're seeing now show this stunning new level of realism.
And it wasn't just Runway. The entire industry was sprinting. Luma, Kling, Alibaba, they all pushed out major updates with better motion control and, this is crucial, native audio with really advanced lip sync. And that is the key. A year ago, these were just cool tech demos, right? Now, with features like native audio and precise motion control, they're becoming indispensable tools for business. We're talking about marketing, content creation, even rapid product prototyping. The barrier to creating high-quality, professional video is just completely collapsing.
Okay, that brings us to what might just be the biggest and definitely the most complex story of the holidays, the huge deal between Nvidia and the AI chip startup Groq.
To really get what's going on here, you have to know the backstory. It's kind of like a drama in 4 acts. Anna, can you walk us through it?
Of course. So, it all starts with this guy, Jonathan Ross, who created Google's custom AI chip, the TPU. Now, flash forward to just recently. Google releases Gemini 3, a top-tier model that was trained entirely on those TPUs. Zero Nvidia hardware involved. This sent a massive shockwave through the market. Nvidia stock actually dipped because investors suddenly saw a future where they weren't the only game in town. So what was Nvidia's reaction? Announce a massive deal with Jonathan Ross's new company, Groq.
And what a massive deal it is, $20 billion. Jonathan, this wasn't structured like a normal acquisition. What's going on with that?
Precisely. This is the new big tech playbook. They call it a licensing deal, but it functions like an acquisition of the talent and the technology. So we call it an acqui-license. See, Nvidia tried to buy the chip company ARM for $40 billion, and regulators blocked it because of antitrust concerns. By structuring this as a license, they just avoid that entire regulatory process. They get the technology, they get the talent, but on paper, Groq is still an independent company. It's very, very clever.
Which makes this pre-deal quote from Groq's founder so fascinating. He always insisted they weren't competing with Nvidia. Anna, what was his argument there? Well, his whole argument was that they were basically in two different businesses. Nvidia's GPUs are masters of training. That's the heavy-duty, time-consuming marathon of teaching the model. Groq's chips, their LPUs, they're built for inference, the lightning-fast sprint of using the trained model to get you an answer. He saw it as a partnership, but well, clearly Nvidia saw a future competitor that they needed to bring into the fold, one way or another.
Okay, so with all of that packed into just a couple of weeks, let's zoom out and talk about the key trends this whole holiday rush really showed us.
Jonathan, let's start with that acquis-license playbook. Just how big of a trend is this?
Oh, it is the dominant structural trend right now. We saw it with Microsoft and Inflection, and now with Nvidia and Groq. Big tech is using its huge cash reserves to effectively acquire key talent and tech from anyone who could be a competitor, all while sidestepping the regulators. It raises very serious questions about whether true competition can even survive in this environment. And Anna, the second trend you're pointing to is the shift in the hardware battle itself, right? From training to something else? Exactly. The Groq deal proves the focus is shifting from training to inference. For years, the big race was about who could build the biggest, most powerful chips for that marathon task of training a model. But now, the real battle is for the sprint, delivering the fastest, most efficient response to a user. That's inference. And that's where the next huge wave of value is going to be created. And finally, there's a trend that's less about the tech and more about the culture, slop fatigue. And we saw this so clearly with the huge backlash to that AI-generated McDonald's Christmas ad. It seems like people are just getting really tired of low-effort, kind of soulless AI content, especially when it comes from big brands.
Yeah, it's become such a pervasive issue that Webster's actually declared glop as the 2025 word of the year. Jonathan, what's the core brand risk here for companies that do this? The risk is enormous. When a multi-billion-dollar company uses AI to create something that feels cheap, it sends a very clear message to your customers. And that message is, we value cutting costs more than we value you. The McDonald's ad was a perfect example of this. The backlash showed that the public can spot glop a mile away, and it is just not a winning strategy for your brand. Which really just leaves us with a pretty wild thought. I mean, from next-gen models to billion-dollar acquisitions, this was all during the quiet holiday period. So if this is the pace when the world is supposed to be offline, what on earth is the rest of the year going to look like? It's going to be an unbelievable year. There's no question. We are truly just getting started. It is exciting. Well, we'll be right here to break it all down for you. That's all the time we have for this one. If you want to even try and keep up with this incredible pace alongside us, make sure you're subscribed. Thanks so much for joining us.